Well, ladies and gentlemen, life rewards those who dare to dream beyond their circumstances and act beyond their fears. The world has never been changed by those who settle for mediocrity, nor has greatness ever been achieved by those who play it safe. If you want something extraordinary, you must think in a way that shatters limits and act with a courage that defies hesitation. Every breakthrough, every revolution, every masterpiece began as a thought, an idea so powerful that it refused to stay confined within the mind of its creator. But an idea alone is nothing. The real magic happens when thought meets action, when boldness steps in to transform vision into reality. History does not remember those who doubted themselves into inaction. It celebrates those who silenced their fears and moved forward despite uncertainty. The ones who chose to act even when the path was unclear, who took the leap even when the safety net was nowhere in sight. They did not wait for permission. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They created the moment. And so the question is not whether you are capable. The question is, are you willing? Willing to think beyond what seems possible, willing to act despite the doubts that whisper in your ear, willing to embrace discomfort, to risk failure, to stand up when you fall, and to move forward even when the road is uphill. The difference between those who succeed and those who watch from the sidelines is not talent, it is not luck, it is the decision to think big and act boldly, to live not in the shadow of what could go wrong, but in the light of what could go right. So whatever it is you dream of, triple it, push it beyond the boundaries of what seems realistic, and then with unwavering determination take the first step. Because the world does not belong to those who wish, it belongs to those who act. The greatest achievements in history were once considered impossible. Every towering skyscraper, every revolutionary invention, every life-changing innovation began as a thought one that defied the limits of what people believed was possible. The minds behind these ideas did not settle for what was ordinary. They saw beyond the present reality, envisioning something greater, something the world had never seen before. Thinking big is not just about ambition. It is about shifting the way we see the world. It is about refusing to be trapped by circumstances, refusing to believe that the boundaries set by society are unbreakable. The moment you allow yourself to think beyond limitations, you step into a world of infinite possibilities. But here's the truth. Most people do not think big. They shrink their dreams to fit their current situation, to match their fears, to avoid discomfort. They settle for what seems reasonable rather than reaching for what they truly desire. And in doing so, they deny themselves the opportunity to create something extraordinary. You have the power to choose a different path. You have the ability to expand your vision beyond the limits of your past experiences. Whatever you dream of, make it bigger. Stretch your imagination, push your goals further, and refuse to be bound by what seems realistic. Because the only real limits in life are the ones you accept. The world is shaped by those who dare to think beyond the ordinary. It is moved forward by those who refuse to accept things as they are and instead imagine what they could be. The moment you allow yourself to dream without limits, you awaken the power to create without boundaries. And once you embrace that mindset, there is no force strong enough to hold you back. Ideas are powerful, but they are nothing without action. The world is full of people with brilliant thoughts, incredible dreams, and ambitious plans, yet only a few ever bring them to life. The difference between success and stagnation is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the courage to take the first step. Too often people wait. They wait for the right moment, the perfect plan, or the guarantee of success before they act. But waiting is an illusion. There will never be a time when everything feels certain, when fear completely disappears, or when success is guaranteed. Those who achieve greatness do not wait for permission. They do not hesitate. They act. History is not shaped by those who merely dream. It is written by those who step forward and do something about it. The greatest breakthroughs did not happen because someone had a great idea. They happened because someone dared to take action, to risk failure, to push forward despite the doubts, and to turn vision into reality. Thinking big opens the door to possibility, but bold action is what brings it to life. It is easy to imagine success, but real transformation happens when effort meets execution. A vision without action remains a fantasy. It is the bold moves, the fearless leaps, and the unwavering persistence that turn ideas into achievement. You have everything within you to create the life you desire, but you must be willing to move. Step out of your comfort zone, take that risk. Make the call, start the project, make the decision. The moment you stop overthinking and start acting is the moment your dreams start becoming real. The world belongs to those who do, not just those who dream. Fear and doubt are the silent thieves of dreams. They creep into the mind, whispering reasons why something won't work, why failure is inevitable, why it's safer to stay where you are. And most people listen. They let their fears control their actions, allowing doubt to paralyze them before they even take the first step. But the truth is, fear is not real. Only your belief in it gives it power. Every successful person has felt fear. Every great leader, every innovator, every trailblazer has faced moments of doubt. The difference is they did not let those feelings stop them. They moved forward despite the uncertainty, despite the possibility of failure, despite the voices, both external and internal, telling them it couldn't be done. They understood that fear is nothing more than a sign that they're stepping outside of their comfort zone, and that is exactly where growth begins. The greatest mistake anyone can make is waiting until they feel fearless before taking action. That moment will never come. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something is more important than fear. It is the understanding that doubt is just an obstacle to be ignored, not a barrier to success. If you let hesitation control you, you will stay exactly where you are, watching others achieve what you once dreamed of. Every time you step beyond your doubts, you grow stronger. Every time you refuse to let fear dictate your actions, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. The key to success is not to eliminate fear, it is to act boldly in spite of it. Because on the other side of fear lies everything you've ever wanted. And the only way to get there is to move forward no matter what. There is no perfect moment, no magical day when all the conditions align, all fears disappear, and success is guaranteed. Yet so many people wait. They wait for more confidence, more knowledge, more resources. They tell themselves they will start when they feel ready, when the risk is lower, when the path is clear. But waiting is just another form of fear disguised as logic. It is the easiest way to kill a dream before it ever begins. The truth is, the perfect moment is now. The right time is the moment you decide to move. Every great achievement began in uncertainty, with someone taking action before they had all the answers. No one has ever created something extraordinary by waiting for permission. The people who change the world are the ones who step forward despite the unknown, who take risks even when success is not guaranteed. Progress is never made by standing still. Clarity comes from action, not from endless planning. Growth happens when you push yourself forward, even when the next step isn't completely visible. You don't need to know every detail of how your journey will unfold. You just need to trust yourself enough to take the first step. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will be waiting forever. The ones who succeed are the ones who create their own opportunities, who understand that the only way to build something great is to start before they feel ready. Life doesn't reward those who hesitate, it rewards those who act. So stop waiting. The moment you take action is the moment your life begins to change. Success is not reserved for the lucky or the exceptionally talented. It does not belong to those who merely dream or those who sit on the sidelines watching and wishing. It belongs to those who take bold action, those who make decisions and commit to them fully. The people who achieve greatness are not always the smartest, the most skilled, or the most privileged. They are the ones who refuse to let fear or hesitation hold them back. The world is filled with people who have incredible ideas, people who talk about what they want to do, who plan, who prepare, who imagine what their life could be like, but only a small percentage of them actually take the leap. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not their ability or their resources, it is their willingness to act despite uncertainty. Every great leader, every entrepreneur, every game changer made a choice. They chose to step into the unknown. They chose to make decisions without waiting for certainty. They chose to take risks when others hesitated. And that choice to act rather than wait is what separates them from the rest. Too many people let opportunities slip away because they are afraid of making the wrong decision. They analyze, overthink, and wait for a guarantee that doesn't exist. But inaction is the biggest risk of all. Nothing happens until you move. You cannot learn, grow, or create success without making a choice and taking action. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you must be willing to decide. You must be willing to take bold action even when the outcome is uncertain. Because in the end, the people who shape the world are not the ones who waited for the perfect opportunity. They are the ones who seized the moment and made it their own. Defying in force is not the end of the road. It is part of the journey. Too many people let the fear of failure stop them before they even start. They hesitate, second-guess themselves, and avoid risks because they are afraid of making mistakes. But the truth is, failure is not something to be feared, it is something to be embraced. Every great success story is built on a foundation of failures, setbacks, and lessons learned along the way. The people who achieve greatness are not those who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to let failure define them. Every challenge, every obstacle, every misstep is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn something new, and to come back even bolder than before. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not talent or luck, it is resilience. It is the ability to get knocked down and stand up again, stronger and more determined. Growth does not happen in comfort. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you must be willing to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to face the possibility of failure head on. Every time you push yourself beyond what feels safe, you expand your potential. Every time you refuse to let failure stop you, you become more unstoppable. The most successful people in the world were once told they would never make it. They were rejected, criticized, and doubted, but instead of accepting defeat, they used every failure as fuel. They adjusted, they learned, they adapted, and they kept moving forward. And because they refused to quit, they succeeded. You will face setbacks. You will have moments when you wonder if you are on the right path. But if you keep going, if you refuse to give up, if you choose to see failure as feedback rather than defeat, nothing can stop you. Bold action requires resilience. And those who embrace failure as part of the process will always rise above those who fear it. The size of your vision determines the size of your success. Most people dream within the limits of what feels safe, what seems practical, what others have told them is possible. They shrink their goals to fit their fears instead of expanding their vision to match their true potential. But every great achievement in history came from someone who dared to think beyond the ordinary, someone who refused to be limited by what others believed was realistic. The only true limits are the ones you accept. If you believe something is impossible, it will be. If you believe you are not capable, you won't be. But if you choose to think beyond those limitations, if you choose to imagine a future far greater than your current reality, you open the door to incredible possibilities. The greatest minds, the most successful people, the ones who have changed the world, all had one thing in common. They allowed themselves to dream on a level others were too afraid to reach. The moment you decide to think bigger, your world expands. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You start pushing past boundaries that once seemed unbreakable. You realize that success is not about playing small, fitting in, or following the status quo. It is about breaking barriers, challenging the norm, and daring to set a new standard. Do not let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big. Do not let past failures, doubts, or circumstances dictate what you believe is possible. Whatever goal you have, make it bigger. Whatever vision you hold, expand it. Whatever level you think you can reach, aim higher. The world is full of people who settle. Do not be one of them. Be the person who thinks so big that it inspires others to do the same. Be the person who refuses to accept limits and instead creates new possibilities. Nothing extraordinary has ever come from thinking small. If you want to live a life that truly matters, you must be willing to think beyond the ordinary. Dream big and then go after that dream with everything you have, because the size of your vision will always determine the impact of your success. The first step is often the hardest, yet it is the one that changes everything. It's easy to get caught up in the planning, in the dreaming, in the thinking, but the moment of transformation happens when you stop analyzing and start acting. The idea of what you want to achieve may seem distant, even overwhelming. The journey may appear long, the obstacles may seem insurmountable, and the end goal may feel unreachable, but none of that matters if you do not take that first step. Taking action is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It is the moment you choose to move forward, even when everything feels uncertain. You do not need to have the entire path figured out. You do not need to know every detail of the journey. The most important thing is to start, because the first step, no matter how small, creates momentum. Most people get stuck in the what if phase. They wonder what will happen if things don't work out, what others will think, or what the risks are. And because of this, they never move beyond their thoughts. They live in a cycle of ideas that never become reality. But the truth is, nothing happens until you act. The best ideas, the most visionary goals, the grandest dreams, all remain fantasies unless you make the decision to step into action. When you take that first step, something magical happens. The doubts begin to fade. The path ahead, though not always clear, begins to unfold. Each action you take leads to more clarity, more opportunity, and more confidence. And with each step, you grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. The journey starts with one bold choice to act, and from there, everything else follows. So do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for the conditions to be just right. Start now. The first step is always the most important one. And once you take it, the rest will follow. Your dreams, your goals, your vision, they all depend on the actions you take today. The moment you move is the moment you begin to change your life. As we stand on the edge of our potential, the only thing that holds us back is our willingness to step forward. The world will not wait for us to be ready. Life does not pause while we prepare for the perfect moment or when all the pieces fall into place. The only moment that matters is now. The only opportunity that matters is the one in front of you. Thinking big and acting bold is not just a strategy for success. It is the very foundation of living a life of purpose and impact. The people who shape the world are the ones who dare to think beyond the limits of what's comfortable, the ones who challenge the status quo, and the ones who have the courage to act despite fear and uncertainty. They understand that greatness does not come from waiting, but from taking bold action, from pushing past limitations, and from using failure not as a reason to stop, but as fuel to grow stronger. In every moment, you have the power to choose to stay where you are or to take a step into the unknown, to think bigger than you ever thought possible, and to act with the boldness required to bring those dreams to life. Success is not for those who play small, who wait for everything to be perfect before they act. Success belongs to those who believe in the impossible and are willing to do what it takes to make it a reality. So I ask you today, what will you do with this moment? Will you remain stuck in the safety of what you know? Or will you embrace the uncertainty and boldness required to create something extraordinary? The world needs your ideas, your vision, your courage. It is time to think big, act bold, and make your dream something that not only inspires you, but also inspires the world. The time is now. The moment is here. Step forward with confidence, take that first step, and don't look back. Your journey has already begun, and greatness awaits you.